all strive to be good actors. We want to make it to the top one day, and we want to be successful and be the best actors that we can. One day we're going to get there. We're going to go and strive and succeed at that, because you know what? If they said that we can do it, we are going to do it.
There's one part of the dance where everyone has their arms out and they're walking forward, and it's saying, look out, because here we come. And of course, then I started crying, because it was just so clear, you know, what our theater program does. And it goes back to our first theater program, and it was our guys, our kids with special needs got to be center stage. And that's not where they usually are. And so to have this song with them, all of them on stage, see, I'm going to start crying, coming out saying, look out, because here we come. I just thought, oh my gosh, how far we have come, and what a big part Whole Children has played in that. Because we were the ones who put them center stage, just them, not as in the background or a supporting actor, the main ones. And I said to Carrie afterwards, we have to let them know the history of people with special needs and disabilities like what they have, and how they, before Whole Children, they weren't center stage, and that they are center stage, and maybe that would help them really understand that part, that song coming through is so strong, because here we are, and we're not going away, and we are who we are, and we're proud of who we are, and we can do everything that everyone else can do.
This is me, makes me feel like an expression of joyfulness, lovingness, and hopefulness for a new world, you know, for the next generation to come, you know. And once it's all said and done, we all feel as one.
I think it talks about don't be afraid to do something, like be brave and do it yourself. Makes me feel proud of my singing and who I am.
So we were at a rehearsal of the theater production in November, and we were practicing the final number, which is This Is Me from The Greatest Showman on Earth. And suddenly in the middle of the number, Matt stopped everybody and said, hold on a minute, it's really important that you listen to the words of this song. And I didn't know the song, and I hadn't listened to it before then. So I listened to it along with everybody else in the room. And the words were perfect for who we are and what we do. And more than what the words were and how I felt about it was I watched the room shift, the entire room. And it hit me that all the students there understood the words of that song, understood what they meant, and the shared experience transmitted. And so all of a sudden, it went from fun, which is a huge part of what we do here, to understanding there's a depth underneath that. There's a purpose and a strength. And it kind of just came together. And so suddenly the movements changed, and the steps forward were, yes, this is us. We are here. We are standing up for something. And it occurred to me that over all the years of Whole Children, that has been a thread of who we are. It was started by parents who had this urge, who had this instinct to stand up for their kids. In some ways, it came out of a no. We were told, many of us were told, here's your child's diagnosis, here's what it's going to mean. They're not going to this, they won't be able to this. And as parents, our response to that was, no, we're going to show you something different. And so we pooled our resources together, we supported each other, and we created a place where we weren't just telling people, what you're assuming is wrong, we would show them. And now our children were 8 when we started, and now they're in their 20s. And here we are in our 8th year of this theater production, which evolved as our way to engage the larger community and who we are and what we're doing and why it's important that everybody get a chance to be seen for what's perfect and wonderful about them. And this song just completely epitomized that.
I feel like of everything that's been done here, which a lot has been done, that the theater program probably means the most to me because of the opportunities it gives our kids. It brings everything together that Whole Children has always stood for. And I think seeing that it started with maybe 8 or 10 kids and now we have over 20 kids, and when people who aren't in the theater program see the play, they want to be part of it.
One of the interesting things about our kids is that they love to perform. And for my son Alex, who's been in every show, he was very shy. He in rehearsals, he'd be sort of withdrawn and quiet. And we have this joke that he would have trouble remembering where his spot was. So he'd have like a particularly big X to find where he stood. And it was the same thing. The lights would come on, the audience would be there, and he'd transform and love every second of it. And through that experience, through learning all the little bits of how do you watch cues of other people, how do you engage, how do you listen to the director, how do you know when to come on, how do you work with your nerves, he was able to try out and get a part 2 years in a row in the local Amherst Leisure Services play. And he earned that spot, and he was able to perform because of the foundation he got here in a place that was open and welcoming and walked him through all the details.
It makes everyone come out of their shell. And I think, like for Cade, I remember one of the first plays we did, he has the stuttering thing. And one of the lines he couldn't say because he would just get stuck on, I think it was a W, whoo, 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 whoo. And so Matt just changed the line. And I've seen Cade go from being so nervous that he can hardly get things out to being more confident and more theatrical in his lines. I know it means the world to Cade to be in these plays, and I think it's the same for everyone, that it no matter what their part is, they're thrilled to be in it and be a part of it. I don't know, it's just such a bonding experience for them.
Wait a minute. Everyone, maybe we can solve this peacefully. Peace.
So peacefully.
Yeah.
So let's work on that one.
Tough.
It's a tough word.
Wait a minute. Everyone, maybe we can solve this peacefully.
What do you love about theater?
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you love about theater?
I love Matt.
Well, Matt, none of us will be possible.
That's true.
Tell us about Matt.
He's very funny and he makes me laugh sometimes.
Matt is our hero. And I think when I think about Matt, the first thing that comes to mind is the man is a genius. His heart is 100% in his relationships with every one of us, with everything we do here. And so what he'll do is he'll come in, he'll get to know each and every individual who are now, many of them young adults, not kids anymore. He'll get to know each and every person. He will look for and understand where their strengths are, what extra supports they might need, and he'll build the show around them. So like the way that he perfectly fits with who we are and what our philosophy is the individual comes first as they are. They're welcomed. We make the effort to understand them. We make the effort to move around them to maximize their experience of self-worth and success. And he has done this every time. He has a concept that he comes in with, but he knows from the bottom of his heart that it is not about him, it is about them. And the end goal is that they have the experience of a lifetime that they want to have. And everything that's done from the part of Matt, conceptualizing it, casting the show, working out with the other staff, the supports, which are brilliant, the ways that they are able to quietly, our other teachers, be in there on stage with folks, and the attention is always on the individual performing, not on the support person. And Matt is masterful at orchestrating all this.
Well, I grew up with a sister with cerebral palsy, and she taught me more about life and loving life than anyone. And she taught me how to adapt and change circumstances to kind of fit her needs, but it also kind of expanded my own thinking. And being a theater person, I grew up doing theater my whole life. And so it was just kind of a natural fit.
We tend to get, as the show starts coming, oh my God, we don't have the set, what are we going to do? And Matt will sometimes say, there was one time where it was for the Wizard of Oz production, and he said, oh, we need a fence, and Matt said, just get a bunch of cardboard, and we were like, I don't know about this. And he, within, kind of 4 instructions, said, cut the cardboard in this shape, put a little paint on it. And what he came up with is each individual who, in the opening number, there was the chorus singing, each wearing a colorful t-shirt. And he had each individual hold up a section of fence. And then one person was the gate and actually moved with the gate. And it was visually perfect. It was simple. It completely portrayed what he wanted to portray. It engaged as many people as possible in the production. And there's just a million of those little things that he comes up with that work and that simply bring things together in a way that is visually engaging, is understandable and workable for the individuals. He always has in his mind, how can I come up with a costume that is not going to occlude their vision, not going to be tactily offensive to them? If he's aware of all of these pieces, and he can bring them together and still put on this incredible show. It's amazing.
A focus for me is to give opportunity for these people to shine on stage. A lot of them have been part of theater programs in their schools or communities, and they usually end up being, tree number 3 in the back. And this is a chance for them to be a named character and have lines and have responsibilities on stage. And at Whole Children and the Milestones program, there's such a broad offering of programs for the people that come here. And so to be able to use the skills that they're learning in pretty much every other program here comes invaluable in theater. I also appreciate and get feedback from the other staff members that are helping me in the class. And they have ideas that I hadn't thought of, or things that maybe we could focus on a little more, because a lot of these people are in other classes, and so I like to support what those other teachers are teaching as well.
He knows who you are, he knows who your school is, so you guys know each other, okay? Very important that we know that what the plot, that his brother banished him and all those things, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. I'll do Snape's line. Merlin, one more time with my brother Mordred. If you don't mind.
So, from where I start, it says, my brother, Mordred, has convinced everyone in the kingdom that magic does not exist. As Grand Wizard, he banished me forever.
I just love seeing them on stage and how proud they are. and you can feel how they feel having done a really good job. There was one play, I mean, we always go into it feeling like, oh man, we're not ready for this. This is going to be shaky. And of course, they never feel that, but we do. And so it was the last rehearsal at Whole Children before we went to the theater. And Matt said, okay, you guys, you know, I would say that this was about 50%. And they all went, yes, yay! And we were like, yep. Okay, 50% is great. So, you know, they've got that optimism and confidence, and it came from all the plays they've done. And then they get out there and they do a great job, you know, always.
The confidence that it instills in them when they get those applause, and even if they've messed up a line, even if they've missed an entrance, no matter what, the show goes on, and the audience still loves the show. And for me, that's the most rewarding part, and they deserve all the applause that they get.
This is me.
Matt.
Yeah, you're the best.
You're the best guy
You're the-
I ever had.
Matt, you're like a father to us, and I hope you see this because
I think this would be a good thing for you to show you.
Because really, from the Monsters crew to the Wolfpack to everything else, we want to show you this because we love you, man. And not only that, thank you for showing us the way. And not only that, I hope, you know, we become future actors. And once we do, we're going to dedicate it all to you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you're the best.
Yeah, and you're best, and you look like the guy from that movie, Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
That was fun.
Thank you. Thank you. You're just fabulous.